Hey everybody, it's Professor Presley back here. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. I think this is our third week now, so we're headed into our fourth week. But we're pretty much done with Series 2 after this week, and then we're heading into Series 3 this upcoming week, which will be September 14th through the 20th. So I wanted to make another video to kind of help you guys navigate what you're supposed to be doing this upcoming week. So Series 3 is all about inquiry, and inquiry is always a hard word for me to pronounce. I can't say it 5 times fast. But inquiry is all about asking questions, is another way to say inquire. And so with this series, you're going to be inquiring about how writing works. And there's a big project that's associated with this inquiry that we'll talk about in a little bit. But basically, you're coming up with a theory of how writing works. So, going into this module, this series this week, you'll see the same similar things that you've seen in other series. You'll see the plan your week little tab here. You'll see all the things that you have to do, which I'll outline a little bit more clearly in a second. Things to think about. And then you have this theory of writing project. So this is another project, just like the multimodal literacy project. It's another big project that you're going to finish by the end of the semester, but you're going to start on it this week. So let me go ahead and look at the project criteria here. So you're coming up with a theory of writing. So basically how writing works. You're going to come up with a line of inquiry that talks about what you think of how writing works. So it's an investigative essay that communicates that theory. And there's a whole bunch of helpful info here that you can read through, but it describes what an investigative essay is, what inquiry is, so you can read through that. So this is an essay. It's still a multimodal essay, so you can still use visuals and audio and things like that, but you're going to have to write 1,000 words. Okay, so you can just write a traditional essay without much multimodal stuff in there, but try to have at least something. When you talk about multimodal, you want to have at least like a couple links or things of that nature, even if you're writing a traditional essay. But you can make it completely visual and then add the words to the visual, things like that. So we're still concentrating on the multimodality of this project. So throughout the course of the semester, you're going to prepare a draft. You're going to adhere to all these requirements, and then you'll be graded at the end of the quarter or end of the semester on this whole project. So right now, this week, we're coming up with some brainstorming for this project. And this is a little model of how you can brainstorm. It's a concept map that you have to turn in at the end of this week. And you can use this as your concept map if you would like, but this is all at the end of the project assignment, the description of the project. So this is kind of what we're shooting for, one of the big projects that we're going to complete by the end of the semester. And so that's here, all right? You don't have to do anything with this other than read it, okay? All right, so as you scroll down, you got Professor Hollinger talking about what an investigative essay is. You got some links that can help you with different types of exploratory texts, some more videos to watch, and then you have the links to your assignments. So you have 2 assignments to do this week. One of the assignments has 3 things to do in it, and then the other assignment is just your reflection in your portfolio like you've been doing since week 1. So the first assignment is the lines of inquiry theory of writing proposal. All right, and it has 3 parts. The first part is you got to create a concept map or a doodle or a sketch, something that shows you thinking about all your ideas that you have for your theory of writing. And I'm going to show you an example of one that I made right before I pressed record for this video. So that's the first thing you got to do. The second thing you have to do is a free write. So based on this concept map, you're going to write out for 10 minutes You're going to set a timer and just keep writing for 10 minutes, basically describing everything that you've put a little bit more detail, everything that you've put in your concept map. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And then the last thing you're going to do for the lines of inquiry assignment is to actually write out your lines of inquiry. So you should come up with 3 lines of inquiry, or 3 questions that you're going to have, research questions that you're going to have in this essay. And you're going to write them out, and then you're also going to briefly identify and explain why you're interested in following these lines of inquiry. All right, so let me go ahead and show you what that looks like here for each one. So this is, let me see if I can get all the way to the top here. Yep. So this is, and I think I added some stuff to this so you don't see everything. But this is part 1. So this is the concept map. All right. So the concept map, I started off with my theory of how writing works. And then based on the description of the assignment, I made these little branches. Now your branches don't have to look like this, but these are kind of good if you want to copy these little these circles here off the concept map, and then write your own ideas underneath. That would probably be a good way to attack this. All right, but this is the concept map, an example of one that I just made up. In the middle is my theory of how writing works. Then all these ideas branch off of my theory. So I have my inquiry, which is just questions that I have about how writing works. And my questions are: who judges good writing? Is the judging criteria flawed? Does writing affect identity? Right? So you can ask 3 totally different questions about how writing works. All right, but those are mine. All right, and those are going to be my lines of inquiry that I talk about in part 3 of this assignment. Okay. Also, I talk about specific scenarios where writing kind of works. So I have writing for school, writing for my friends, writing for work, writing for personal reflection. All right, and then I can obviously expound off of this in my essay. There's some other topics that I'll probably talk about in my essay. What will I discover? What sources do I need? All right, definitely going to need to come up with some sources to use in my essay. Why does this matter? All right, and why is this interesting? Those are things that I'm going to explore as well. And then some assumptions that I have about composition or about writing are that good writing is clear and concise. Good writing considers its audience, and good writing incites action or inspires. All right, so these are all the things that I came up with in my concept map. Yours might look completely different. It doesn't have to be a handwritten sketch. It can be on Prezi or PowerPoint. It can be a YouTube video. So your concept map does not have to look like this, but this is just kind of a springboard for you to look at and say, okay, this is how I need to go about creating my concept map. All right, so this is part 1. Part 2 is the free write. So all I did was take each section of my concept map and then write out in kind of more paragraph form a description of each section. So for example, I said there are several branches of knowledge that stem from my theory of how writing works. And so I looked back at here, and this is my theory, and then I said there's several branches that stem out. All right. Then I said the first is my assumptions about composition. So if you look at my concept map, my assumptions about composition are right here. So in my free write, I just started writing about everything that I saw in my concept map. All right, I think that good writing encompasses the following 3 criteria: 1, 2, 3, and I'd write that out. Right. I've also developed 3 lines of inquiry about how writing works, and then I would write those things out. All right. Some specific scenarios where writing happens for me are, all right, that's once again straight off of the concept map here, and I would just rewrite those things in my free write. All right. Other questions I have are, and I would write those questions out. Those questions will be the lines of inquiry. All right. So all you're doing is taking your concept map and then kind of rewriting it in your free write. All right. At least that's what I did. You could write about something totally different in your free write, but the idea is to write for 10 minutes straight without stopping. Okay. All right. And then the last part of this assignment is your lines of inquiry. So for me, I got my lines of inquiry straight off my concept map. All right. So these are my lines of inquiry that I put on my concept map. So all I did was retranscribe those onto my lines of inquiry portion of the assignment. So my 3 lines of inquiry are: who judges good writing? Is the judging criteria flawed? And does writing affect identity? All right. And then for this lines of inquiry portion of the assignment, you have to write out your lines of inquiry, and then you also have to say that you are interested in following this line of inquiry because. So explain why you're interested in following the 3 lines of inquiry that you chose. All right. So that's it for that portion of the assignment that's due next Sunday, September 20th. All right. So you'll work on all 3. You can upload each individually as a link into this assignment, or you can create them all on one document, however you want to do it, but you're going to turn it in as a link into this little tab here, lines of inquiry proposal. All right, and then the next thing you have to do, the only other thing you have to do is your reflection. So you're going to answer these questions and post them to your portfolio. So where do you think good and bad ideas come from? What would you say is the connection between questions and ideas? Describe the last time you were really curious about something. What motivated that curiosity? What did you do about it? So you're going to answer those questions and then post those to your portfolio. So this is the beginning of series 3. It's all about inquiry, and it's all about building on the assignment that's due, the major assignment that's due at the end of the semester. You guys have done a great job with your multimodal literacy narratives, and you've done a great job with your plans. I really enjoyed looking at those and grading those, and I'm going to enjoy grading the rest today and tomorrow. But keep up the good work. You guys are doing an amazing job, and if you guys have any questions, by all means, email me. My office hours this week will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever section you're in, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And so you can find the link to my Google Meet in I think it's the intro. When I introduce myself, my intro video, you'll see all my information there. So if you need to see me during office hours, just email me and tell me, hey, I'd really like to see you during office hours this week. And then I will make that link available and then meet you virtually. If nobody emails me, then I'm probably not going to just sit in front of my screen for an hour. So if you want to see me during office hours, just email me prior to that day's, whatever your section is, that day's office hours, and I will make myself available. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great Series 3.1. Take care.